Unlike the Lions defense, I am ready to roll. Let's talk about the game.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And then the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
So by rule, the game is over.
The Lions Hangover.
Welcome, everybody, to the Week 4 episode of The Lions Hangover. I am Brad. First off, let me say thank you for watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I've seen a lot of growth over the last week, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, and thanks for subscribing and sharing with your friends, telling everybody about the show. The big story today is the defense, or lack of defense. So almost instantly, Seattle can do whatever they want. Geno Smith had no problem moving the ball. He was mobile, a lot more mobile than I thought he would be in today's game. That still seems to trouble the Lions a little bit. A scrambling quarterback seems to be one of their weaknesses. So after Seattle goes up 7-0, Lions instantly go 3 and out. However, on the next play, the punt, it's fumbled by Lockett for Seattle, and the Lions are in great field position. I believe they were like on the 25 or 30 after that, in which within a play or two, Goff connects with Hockenson, and Hockenson scores his touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns today and a 2-point conversion, and this was a big day for Hockenson. We'll talk about his stats in a little bit. I'm looking at my notes, though, and just over and over, all it says is Lions defense is sloppy. Lions defense can't stop. They're on Seattle's second drive, they pretty much let Geno Smith walk into the end zone untouched. There's no pressure. The middle of the field was wide open, and he just ran it right in. Lions were not as lucky on offense. Seattle didn't have to punt once. Detroit punted 2 times, I believe. 2 times, and one of them was a fumble. So that worked out for us. I'm sorry. I guess technically they punted 3 times, but the second punt attempt was a fake punt by Jack Fox, and he throws for a first down. And it was a phenomenal first down. Jack Fox was 1 for 1 on his passes for 6 yards with a 91.7 quarterback rating. Lions got a new kicker this week, Eberle. I don't know what's up with the Lions kickers. They seem to have forgotten that time when it was before Prater, but after Jason Hanson, one of the most reliable kickers in the history of the NFL. The Lions went through like 6 to 15 kickers before we accidentally got Matt Prater. We were super lucky to get Matt Prater that season, and we sort of just let Matt Prater get away from us after that. I don't know what's going on, but the kicking game is a big problem. It, in a way, cost us last week against Minnesota because Eberle missed 2 extra points. The easiest kick in football, the extra point, he missed both of them. We were somewhat successful on converting 3rd and 4th downs today. Lions offense was clicking on most, if not all, of their cylinders. So earlier in the week, DK Metcalf nonchalantly called out Okudah. He was saying that, has he really been shutting anybody down? Because he's had a safety behind him, but he's a good cornerback, though. I'm paraphrasing, of course. That's not an exact quote. And turns out DK Metcalf was kind of right because he had Okudah's number all day. Now, Okudah did make some stops. There was 1 or 2 broken up plays, but it was rare. It seemed like Geno Smith was hitting everybody, especially DK Metcalf. Just before halftime, though, Jamal Williams pounds it in. It's the exact scenario you want. You score right before halftime, and like I said, you come out of halftime and you get the ball. But at halftime, Seattle Seahawks are winning 24-15. And the first play of the second half, Jared Goff throws a pick 6. Now, I've seen Dan Campbell, he called out that particular play, and he said that that's the difference maker. and mathematically he's correct. You take that away, and it's a different ball game. But that's not exactly the case. Your defense gave up 42 points minus that pick six. So, well, let's say 41 with the extra point. So your defense gave up 41 points. That's not necessarily on Jared Goff. I'm not saying he played great. He played really well. I'm not saying that pick six was totally on him, because it was. And sure, mathematically, you take that away and it looks like we are the winners. But your defense at the end of the day still gave up 41 points. You're forcing your offense to do something that's pretty difficult, and you can't quite predict that you're going to score more than 30 points every game. And the Lions were lucky to score 45 today, honestly. But the kicking troubles weren't all belonging to Detroit today. They did get a much-needed missed field goal by Myers for Seattle. That kept the game close. And then just over halfway of the third quarter, the offense starts to wake up a little bit, and Jamal Williams breaks a 50-plus yard field goal, and Jared Goff gets the 2-point conversion as they're trying to make up some ground from the missed extra points. And then something weird happens at this point in the game. The Lions stop Seattle in a critical fourth down or critical third down, and they were going to hold Seattle to a field goal. And then the refs kind of get together and they converse for literally two minutes. And they say that they originally blew the previous play dead and it should never have happened. So therefore, Seattle's going to replay third down. Now, at the stadium, nobody heard a whistle. The play happened. Everything seemed legit to us and everybody that was around me. And it seems like if you have to talk about it for quite literally 2 minutes, maybe you didn't blow the whistle dead. That should be a quick conversation. That should be one ref saying, hey, I blew the whistle dead. There's no play. And that didn't happen. They spent so much time talking about it that it just creates a lot of doubt in my mind. And following that, the very next play after that, Penny scores on a 41-yard touchdown play right after that. 41 yards. Breaks it. Not even close to anybody tackling him. Penny finished with 151 yards, by the way, on 17 attempts. That's an 8.9-yard average. He also had 2 touchdowns. My man, Kenneth Walker from Michigan State, didn't do anything, and I'm going to quit calling him my man. He was such a powerful runner at Michigan State, and he is not doing anything for Seattle. So, not my man anymore. I really wasn't ever rooting for him. I just thought he was a good runner. So at this point, you think the Lions are dead. Like, that could be the nail in the coffin. That is a momentum killer. It's the typical official blunder. It's like the refs are trying to screw us. I'm sure a lot of the fans that were at the game were feeling that way. I don't know how it exactly came across on TV, but the Lions offense never gives up. They're the one consistent this year. No matter how bad it gets, the Lions offense just keeps getting through. And if the defense could just step it up, I swear we'll be unstoppable. And I know that sounds kind of like a optimistic thing, but it seems so obvious because we've scored more points than any other team in the NFL, and it's not even close right now. I think we got like a 30 or 40-point lead. But Hockenson breaks it for 81-yard reception. It was insane. It was awesome. Hockenson had an amazing day. It was beautiful to see. He doesn't end up getting the touchdown, but he does get the 2-point conversion after the touchdown. He also scores another touchdown with 5:26 remaining in the game. That pulls the Lions to within 3, 41-38. Seattle scores one more time. Lions come back and score one more time. Another Hockenson touchdown. Right? Yeah, I think so. And then we go for the onside kick, and we don't get it. And all Seattle needs, we have all of our timeouts, and all Seattle needs is a first down, and the Lions can't hold them. They can't stop them. And Geno Smith runs out the clock. He takes the knee, and he runs out the clock, and it was very disappointing. It's very discouraging, and the Lions, the fans deserve better. Very frustrating. Very frustrating to watch. Very frustrating to feel as a fan. I promised myself I'm not going to cry. Still not going to cry. But that's it. You kind of swallow this one down. And my voice is a little shaky because I started yelling like a madman when Hockenson was running on that 81-yard thing. So it's a little bit wobbly today, my voice afterward. Maybe you don't hear it, but I can feel it for sure. So Jared Goff did have a pretty solid day. He went 26 of 39 for 378 yards with an average of 9.7 yards. He did have 4 touchdowns today, throwing touchdowns. I believe that's his second game of the season where he had at least 4 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception, that pick 6. That kind of hurt us. His quarterback rating was a 121.5. So statistically, he had a great day. I didn't see many super horrible passes. Of course, you want the pick 6 back, but as far as his misses, it's pretty good. Like he's starting to hone it in a little bit, and I'm starting to have confidence in him. He's not the reason we're losing these games, and I don't believe that pick 6 is the reason we lost the game. Jamal Williams, he carried the ball for 19 times for 108 yards for an average of 5.7 yards. 2 touchdowns for him as well. He's the man. I like Jamal Williams. He's a funny dude, and he had a great game today. His longest was 51 yards. And then Craig Reynolds only had 2 carries today for 30 yards. But one of those was a 21-yard breakout. So, and then Hockenson, he had a fantastic day as well. Kudos to him, game ball, whatever. He had 8 receptions for 179 yards, 22.4 yards average, 2 touchdowns, his longest being that 81-yard reception. Not a touchdown, though. I think he made it down to like the 3rd or 4th or 3 or 4 yard line. Josh Reynolds had himself a good day. He had 7 receptions for 81 yards and 1 touchdown. Jackson had the other Goff touchdown. Cephas went out with a foot injury. I don't know what's going to happen with our wide receiver room. We definitely have depth there. Our offense is not a problem. Defense is the problem. Kennedy made his return from the practice squad today. He got 3 catches today for 54 yards, his longest being a 28-yard. And Khalif Raymond also had 3 receptions for 38 yards. So up next is the Patriots. Who knows if we're going to win? It's definitely a winnable game, but for the Lions, every game so far this season have been winnable. And the close ones, you can't just win the close ones. You got to put these teams away. You got to take control. Your defense has to step up. I love Aaron Glen. I think he's a very respectable man. I think he's a great coach, but he needs to get this defense together. If this is the story in 4 more weeks, are we looking at a new coordinator switch like we did last year? Is he going to make it through the end of the season? How can you be giving up 141 points through 4 games? And the next closest defense is 115 points, so that's 26 more points that you're giving up. That's another football game in total. Teams score 26 points or less sometimes. And the next worst point-scoring defense, points allowed defense, is the Seattle Seahawks, who we just played. So if it wasn't for us scoring 45 points, that spread would be even bigger. So Aaron Glen, he's kind of the one I'm calling out today, I guess. Last week it was Amani Oruwariye, he wasn't a problem today, but I don't think he had a great game as far as coverage goes. But then again, nobody's coverage did anything. Aiden Hutchinson, I think he's going to get some slack on this game, or some people are going to be upset with him. But I think Hutchinson had a decent game. He had some pressures. He had some tackles today. He's on the stat sheet. I mean, the dude's getting double teamed, not every time, but most of the time. It looks like, to me, the opposing offense is getting away with some holding calls. I think he's being held up quite a few times from what I see on TV and in person. I feel like they're always they're getting away with holding. He should be more of a presence, and you're not seeing it. So some of it is on him. He's got to work through that, and he's got to get off of his blockers, but he's got to shed those blockers. It's still I think he's doing what he can, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Lions respond when Pascal comes back in the next week or 2 or 3. Who knows when that's going to be? It should be soon. I think he's eligible to return now. Now that his 4-week IR stint is over. Anyway, we're playing the Patriots. I don't know if Mac Jones is going to play. He's got that high ankle sprain. He wanted to play against the Packers. He didn't end up playing. They did lose to the Packers. It sucks that we are going to be in New England. That's not actually a good place for us to play. It is a winnable game. My hopes are not up. This game today was like a season changer to me. I feel like the Lions owe us 2 games now. There's 2 teams that they're not supposed to beat that they should beat. So I think the Patriots were one that the Lions originally weren't going to beat, so they owe us this game, and they owe us the Dallas game after the bye week. That's how I feel about it. And those are 2 winnable games as well, but they're also on the road, so let's see how that goes. So the Patriots have only scored 74 points through 4 games, so that's pretty good. That means that their offense is not clicking. So this is going to be a good opportunity for our defense to gain some confidence, to gain some momentum. Fortunately, Matt Patricia is on the other side. He's part of that offense that isn't clicking right now, and we need to take advantage of that. There are guys on our team still from the Matt Patricia era, and this is their opportunity to sort of shove it back in his face and remind him that he limited their potential with his coaching ability. I'm not a big Matt Patricia fan at all. Kind of hate the dude. So this would be perfect for us to actually come out with a shutout. If the defense could pitch a shutout against him, that would be amazing. That's not going to happen, especially if Mac Jones plays. I know he's been struggling, but again, that's Matt Patricia's fault. He's just poison everywhere he goes. So other than that, that's it for me this week. I will see you guys next week after the New England Patriots game. Hopefully it's a victory, but have your Aspen ready just in case it's not. Ice packs, whatever. Be prepared for a loss. Hopefully that's not the case. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys later.